Hi, it's Sylvia here with Vintage Kitchen Vixen, where I share tips for simple living, creating memorable gatherings, and preparing wholesome and traditional meals with a vintage twist. And today I'm going to be giving you 10 of my favorite frugal kitchen rules so you can save money in the kitchen and put it towards something that is important to you. So let's start with number 1. Frugal kitchen rule number 1. Use what you have. So it's Wednesday night, you don't know what to make, and you think, I don't have anything, I guess I better order a pizza. But that's not very healthy, is it? No, take stock of what you have. Look in your freezer. Do you have frozen peas, frozen carrots? Do you have potatoes in your pantry? Do you have lentils? If you have lentils, if you have potatoes, if you have something, you can make a soup. You can just make a Buddha bowl, and Buddha bowls are so easy. There's a link below. You just need a grain, you need a protein, and a handful of greens, and you're all set as long as you have a dressing. Frugal kitchen rule number 2. Keep a well-stocked pantry and take inventory of what you have so you can go out and get what you need as things are running low. So personally for me, what I have in my pantry at all times, I have potatoes, I have textured vegetable protein, and if I have those two things, I can make a shepherd's pie. I have a link below to my shepherd's pie. Other things that I like to keep in my pantry include lentils and legumes. I keep grains like quinoa, bulgur, and rice. I keep things in my freezer like frozen peas and frozen corn and shrimp. Things that I can quickly toss something together if I feel like I don't have anything. As long as I have a well-stocked pantry, I can make magic happen. Frugal kitchen rule number 3. Do it yourself where you can. So some of the areas that I do it myself include making broth, and especially with the broth that I like to buy in the store costs at least $4 because I like to buying the good stuff. If I make it myself, I have such large quantities and it costs me almost next to nothing. Other things that I like to do myself, I make my own tortillas, sometimes I make my own bread, I make my own milk kefir, and popcorn. Don't go out and buy popcorn, just pop it yourself, it's so easy. Frugal kitchen rule number 4, waste not, want not. So this is kind of a spin-off on the last rule, except here we don't waste anything. If you have stale bread, break it up into breadcrumbs. Maybe make a bread pudding. Another thing that you can do is save all of your vegetable trimmings, the carrot peelings, the onion butts and skins, the parsley stems, put it all in a bag, put it in the freezer, and use it to make a stock later, which costs almost next to nothing. Same thing with those chicken carcasses. If you have herbs, and I'm guilty of this, but sometimes I buy a bunch of herbs. I only need to get use a little bit, but you know what you can do? Just wash all of the herbs, take what you need, wash everything, and freeze it. Chop it up, put it in oil, or just freeze it fresh, and then that way you always have fresh herbs in the freezer that you can grab and use. Frugal kitchen rule number 5, and this seems like an obvious one, but buy in bulk. Buy whole chickens instead of just chicken breasts or drumsticks. If you buy the whole chicken, you can stretch it out a whole lot longer. You can make at least 2 or 3 meals out of one chicken. And you also get a nice carcass to make a stock. So that plays into the last rule of don't waste anything. Buy legumes in stock. Don't get the whole, like the little bags, or buy big bags of rice. So if you buy in bulk, it's cheaper and it'll really stretch your dollar. Frugal kitchen rule number 6. This one also seems obvious, but buy on sale. One thing that I like to do every week, I will sit down at my kitchen table and I will go through the weekly flyers to see where I'm going to be shopping that week. So I don't buy peanut butter when it's at full cost. Like, I don't do that, ever. I always buy it when it's on sale, and then I'll get 2 or 3. Same thing with sriracha. I'll always get several bottles at a time at a very very good discounted price. Other things that I like to buy on sale are canned items, so soups, just in case. I normally like making my own soup, but sometimes you just gotta have soup. And my favorite thing to buy on sale is butter. There's a $3 butter sale. You can trust that I am walking home with at least 4 to stash in my freezer because it freezes well. And if you have a freezer, this is a good rule for the freezer. I buy shrimp on sale. I'll buy like 2 or 3 bags at once. I'll buy chickens, good chickens, but I like keeping things in my freezer. It goes hand in hand with keeping that well-stocked pantry, and I keep it well-stocked by buying on sale. So that includes pasta. I buy pasta on sale. Everything. Try to buy everything on sale that you can. Frugal kitchen rule number 7. Keep an herb garden, even if it's a small one. When I used to have a balcony and I could only grow in pots, I would always have a small variety of the kitchen herbs that I used the most often. So I always had rosemary, for example. I liked keeping chives on my balcony because I love chives and they grow like crazy. Mint. So there are so many different herbs that you can save money on. Basil. Yes, I love basil. And just going outside and using what you need. Now I have a garden bed. I have a small little herb bed that I dedicate to herbs, and nothing thrills me more than going outside when I need it and taking in the herbs that I need. I save so much money not going to the store and spending $3 on a bunch of dill, which is a bit crazy. But that goes back to one of my previous rules. So if I do have to buy herbs, I will do what I can to preserve them, whether that's freeze them or making an herb oil. I do something with my herbs. Frugal kitchen rule number 8. And I think this one comes from all the time that I spent in a kitchen. I don't work in a kitchen anymore. I haven't in several years. But one thing that you have to do when you work in a kitchen is label everything that goes in the fridge, including the date that it goes in the fridge. So if you have masking tape and a Sharpie, if you ever put, I don't know, half a can of coconut milk in the fridge, or if you put marinara sauce on the fridge, put a label on it so that you know when you put it in the fridge. Otherwise, you're like, oh, how old is this tomato sauce? I don't know, better throw it out. But if it was last week, chances are it's probably still good. And this is why it's so important to use what you have. It forces you to take stock of what you have in your fridge, and then you can see what's labeled, and you're like, oh, I better use this. This is still good. So don't waste anything. Having labels on everything helps you keep stock of what you have and that you use it. If you are putting things into empty yogurt containers, like I sometimes do, I like saving all of my containers. I have glass jars and I have yogurt containers because they're great for putting my stock in when I'm freezing it. I'll just put, a little bit of broth in one of these containers. But the problem with that, it looks like it's yogurt. So if there's no label on it, I just assume it's yogurt, and then it sometimes goes bad. So labeling is key. Frugal kitchen rule number 9. This one comes from my husband, so I'm going to give him full credit. But when I was developing my favorite rules, I asked him what his favorite were. And one of his favorites was learn how to make a white sauce. Now, I kind of like a white sauce. How is that being frugal? But let me tell you this. A day or two after he told me this, I didn't know what to make. I was doing what I always do and taking stock of what we had. Like I don't know what to make. I know we have shrimp in the fridge and we don't have greens, and but we have frozen peas and we have frozen shrimp. What am I going to do? Oh, and I have potatoes and I have flour and I have butter. And then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna make a white sauce. So I made a white sauce and I put all of these things together. I cooked the potatoes and then I sauteed up the shrimp and some onions, and I made a white sauce. And guess what I made? I made a pie crust and I made a shrimp pot pie. And it was all saved because I made this white sauce. Otherwise, I would have been clueless as what to make. So knowing how to make a white sauce, or like even a marinara sauce, it really helps you in a tight situation. If you know how to make a sauce, it'll really help elevate your food game. So even if you don't have pasta sauce, but you do have pasta, as long as you have butter, flour, and milk, you can make a white sauce, and you can make a white sauce for a pasta, you can make a pot pie, you can make all kinds of different things. We did it! We're at the last one. Frugal Kitchen Rule number 10. Plan a menu. Now, I don't always do this, but when I do, it takes the guessing game out of everything. So if I know what I'm going to be eating throughout the week, I'm not stressing out about it at work or texting my husband, what do you want to have for dinner? We know what we're going to have for dinner, and we know that we have everything that we need for dinner, because when we plan our menu, we also plan our shopping list and we get everything that we need. And then it also helps with planning throughout the week. So if you have a menu plan for chili on Friday night, or maybe on Thursday night, whatever, you know that on Wednesday or Thursday you need to soak beans overnight so that you can make that happen. Because if you use dried beans over canned beans, you're saving money. So there you have it, 10 of my favorite frugal kitchen rules. So I don't know about you, but as I was going through them, I noticed a lot of them were linking together and they were making friends. So next time when you don't know what to make, I hope that's going to kick in. I hope when you're peeling carrots, you'll remember, oh, I should put these aside for a broth. Or if somebody wants to throw out your baguette that went stale, you'll be like, no, we're gonna make breadcrumbs out of that. And then when you go to make burgers later, oh, look, I have breadcrumbs that you wouldn't have otherwise. Waste not, want not, I'm telling you. Does it every time. But do let me know in the comments below which one was your favorite, or maybe you have one of your own that you'd really like to share that wasn't on the list. I'd love to know so I can expand on it, so please drop a comment below, let me know. If you like this video, if you haven't done so already, give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed already, I hope you'll subscribe and hit the bell notification. I'd love to have you join me in my kitchen journey. I put 2 new videos out every week. I'll see you next time. But saving that money so you can put it towards something fun, like a party, a gathering. See how I did that? I put mine towards tomatoes for the garden, for the garden.